はい、皆さんこんにちは。今ご紹介いただきました国際教育センターの山でございます。よろしくお願いします。本日は岩手大学の国際月間のイベントである英語スピーチコンテストトライアル版にご参加いただきましてどうもありがとうございます。11月は国際月間で、スピーチコンテストは初めての試みであります。非常に期待しております。またスピーカーの学生の皆さん、参加表明ありがとうございました。皆さんの思いのこもったスピーチを聞けるものと期待しています。今年はコロナでさまざまなことに制限がかけられていますが、本日は感染対策を行った上で開催することとしております。はい、昨今国際化の進展とともに英語を話す力が社会から求められています。今日のイベントを通して皆さんの英語スキル、表現力、プレゼンテーション能力が向上し、さらに社会に貢献できるようになることを祈っております。スピーカーの皆さんの健闘を祈っております。それでは皆さん頑張ってください。グッドラック。
Okay, so we're going to start the process. So what we're going to do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or I should say professor and students. As far as I'm concerned, the most breaking news in 2020 is COVID-19. According to the researchers all over the world, the bigger the city is, the impact of the impact of the risk of contagion or outbreak. Since the start of the outbreak, the impact of the virus has increased greatly. I believe it's for the following reason. First, up to now, thanks to the virus, we all have changed our lifestyle. In case we may be infected with the diseases, we should not go outside if we don't have to go. During the last summer vacation, I back to China. As soon as I landed, I soon noticed that I had to be isolated for at least 2 weeks. It felt like I was under arrest criminal. Secondly, during the last semester, we had online learning. You know, not everyone wants to learn online. You have to buy a PC and get the internet set up, which aren't cheap. And when they break down, as is often the case, the price is pretty steep to repair, and also cause annoying delays. For me, I like learning online, for I can use the internet to get more information whenever I want. Moreover, I intend to transfer to another school, and so I want to practice my English speaking skills and level up my piano playing skills by studying extracurricular classes outside of the university. Because of Corona, my teacher has to reduce the number of the classes, so I have to reduce my lesson too. There is no question that my plan needs to be reset. Fortunately, my reading and listening skills have improved significantly since I have less time to practice my speaking. In that regard, I am reminded that there are still some good things depending on what you want to see. In summary, one important thing that we often overlook in our life is how our points of view affect how we see something, how we see the world. Our experiences, beliefs, and situations, and even our simple positions can change how we see something. For example, everyone is looking at me, and to the people in front of the room, I look big, but in the back, see me as a little small, and can notice the stain on my tie. So you are looking at the same place. You are looking at the same person at the same time, but you are seeing the different thing. So,
Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I'm Taro Adachi, a senior student of Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. So today, I'm going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 for my future. By the way, at first, I think we have to think the meaning of the word the impact. Because when we use this word on COVID-19, we tend to focus on the negative aspect of COVID. However, does the COVID-19 have really only the negative aspect? Of course, many people are suffering from the COVID, so I don't deny the negative aspect of COVID. However, I convicted that the COVID-19 taught us many lessons. The biggest lesson for me, for my future, is that nothing is nature. In the morning, we go to school. In the daytime, we study at classroom. In the break time, we chat with friends. And in the evening, we join the club activities. I took such a day natural before the COVID-19 attacks to the world. However, I learned that this was incorrect. The COVID-19 made us not to study at classroom. The COVID-19 made us not to meet with friends. And the COVID-19 made us not to hold club activities. I learned that the days which we take it nature before the COVID-19 is not nature. And also, I learned the importance of the nature daily lives. Now, I'm studying to be a public prosecutor of Japan. I want to be like a fort of safe and stable society of Japan. In Japan is a very safe country. So when we get up in the morning, we don't need to care about the day's save of ourselves. We tend to take it nature. However, in fact, someone needs to protect that, I think. So I want to contribute to protect that as a public prosecutor. And this is what the COVID-19 taught me for my future. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. The next presenter will be Vital. So, thank you.
Hi, good evening everyone. And this Vital, and I don't need to mention the country or anything because COVID do not have any country or anything. It has the nationality, it's take all nations. and all religions and all castes. It has its own, wherever it goes, it's taking its nationality, it is getting its citizenship. It doesn't have any discrimination. And I'm here to talk about the effect of COVID on lives of people. Like, rather than negative, it has shown us to think in a different way. Like, not in a very regular way. Like, if you just think like all the scientists are trying to clean the pollution in the nature, but COVID has cleaned it up just within few months of lockdown. So nature has great force when compared to human. But when nature wants to show its power, we all tremble. Before it shows its power, we think we are powerful, and we don't think that nature is greater than us. We think we are greater. And once it comes and shows its power, we just raise our hands and just keep quiet and thinking when it will end. And every time the nature just hits you straight in your face, and COVID also done the same thing. Just think one thing, like it's an uninvited guest, and it showed that life is more important when compared to anything else. Nowadays, anxiety is taking everyone's more than anything else. It has shown the solution. Nothing is permanent, so don't get excited. One day or other, you are going to die. But the time and the ticket when it comes to you is different. So, I think there is nothing we are losing about, and COVID has shown that impossibles can be done. Like, no one has ever thought like world will get stagnant or ceased without any traveling or anything. But it has shown for the last 10 months, no one has traveled anywhere. They are even frightened to go out of their houses. And here in Iwate, it has just visited us just few days back maybe. Very late when compared to the rest of the world. But it didn't even leave Iwate as well. So think in a different way. And there are so many other ways, not just the way what we have learned. Every negative impact has positive once after it's done. If you see from the history, even the First World War or the Second World War or any other disease or anything, it will come just to change the world to the way it thinks. So rather than negative, I take so many things which are positive. People who think like life without job is nothing. But so many people have lost their jobs even though they are living now. So life is more important, and humanity. So it has shown that human has humanity, and money is not the one which matters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next speaker will be Shuhei.
Let's develop global human resources. Be global. Go global. Our vision is to pursue a better future with global people. These are what I frequently heard when I moved to Iwate from Kanagawa Prefecture 6 years ago. But I was like, wait, what is global? So I opened my laptop and Googled the unfamiliar word. And surprisingly, the word global was actually first made by a Japanese person, Akio Morita, in 1980s. And it basically means being global and local. To make it more familiar to you, let me share one phrase. Think globally, act locally. Okay, now please let me give you 3 examples of my friends' experiences And I will ask you all, which is or are Glocal people? Option 1. He was a Gandai student, studied abroad in America, came back to Japan, and now working in Iwate. Option 2. She was a Gandai student, studied abroad in China, came back to Japan, but now working in Tokyo. Option 3. He was a Gandai student, studied abroad in America, came back to Japan, but again now he's studying in America as a PhD student, which is or are Glocal people. Glocal examples. Please raise your hand. Option 1, went to America, came back, and now working in Iwate. Option 2, went to China, came back to Japan, but now working in Tokyo. Option 3, went to America, came back to Japan, but now studying in America again. Or what about the all three options? Thank you so much. Actually, for me, everybody in the examples is Glocal people. Because the idea of Glocal does not lock us up in any certain places. Wherever you are, you can be Glocal, as long as you're global. Let me explain. So as I said, Glocal is a blend of global and local. First, to be global, you have to experience encounters of different cultures through studying abroad, making foreign friends, or even learning from textbook or TV, for example. It's not that hard. To be local, all you have to do is to love and to feel connected to certain places. Once you find a community where you'd like to dedicate your time, efforts, and life, it becomes your local place. Think about a place where you'd like to spend your entire life. Perhaps thinking this way, you'll find it easier to understand what local is. So to close the speech, let me tell you again what Glocal is. It is for you to dedicate yourself to certain places. And I have to tell you this. This is not that hard. You can do it. Anybody can do it. However, let's also keep in mind that it's very hard to make someone Glocal beyond their desires. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next person will be Hong. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today I want to talk about job hunting in the time of COVID-19. COVID-19 has affected day-to-day life and is slowing down global economies. Due to the impact of coronavirus, this year has been more challenging for students who are looking for a job. Many companies have reduced the number of recruiting or postponed the hiring process, making it difficult to find a job. Job hunting in Japan is different from my mother country, Vietnam. Not only the time, but also the process is very different. I started collecting the company information from the end of February. From the beginning of March, every day I wrote a resume, filled out an entry sheet, took aptitude tests, and participated in company information sections. If I passed the entry sheet and aptitude test, I could proceed to the interview. But until mid-April, I didn't have a single company in which I got to go to the final interview. That's because trying to do things in my own wasn't working out, and I wasn't used to interviewing. So I asked the employment support section of the university for help. And in the middle of May, I was able to get job offer from 2 companies. I was so happy. So from beginning to the end of job hunting, I never left mediocre. It's unlike the story under normal circumstance. However, due to the coronavirus infection this year, all of the company are recruiting online. So in the beginning, I didn't get used to it. I didn't understand the atmosphere of the company, and I wasn't full of confusion. But now, when I think about it, I realize that there was many benefits to do it online. It saved time and money. I was able to participate in many company information sessions and interviews just by sitting in front of my computer. What I discovered above is the follow of my job hunting activities in Japan. After overcoming this day, I was able to reflect. Job hunting, especially this year, is not an easy process, but it has made me grow and was a precious opportunity for learning. I got time management skill and industry knowledge. Also, it was fun to be able to talk with many people during the interview. I think that some people are still looking for jobs now. I hope you will do your best and find employment. By the time I graduate, I will do my best to write a research thesis and enjoy the remainder of my school life more. Thanks for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much. Next person will be Hideki.
Yes. What is coexistence? What is with the coronavirus? I think there is existence between the spread of this virus and our usual lives. Because of the contamination of this virus, we can live as usual. About 50 million people were infected with it globally, and more people are being infected in Japan now. Working from home and staying home becomes a new lifestyle in the world. According to the Cabinet Office's survey aimed at 10,000 Japanese people in June, due to a decrease in outing opportunities, 70% of them increase the time when they live with their families, and about half of them answered that the importance of their families has increased. Also, 52% of them has tried new things, and roughly 35% of 6,600 workers have experienced working from home. Of course, my lifestyle has largely changed in a half year. In particular, avoiding going out is a huge decrease. I was worried about this half a year as a freshman. First, it is online classes. Classes I enrolled in at the school caused me anxiety since I could hardly see the others' faces. As I couldn't ask them what I didn't understand, and I had a lot of assignments, I doubted that this is a university. That half a year was a very terrible time. Besides, I was concerned about the use of restaurants. While the coronavirus was going around, restaurants shortened hours and closed all day. So then I had more to eat at home by cooking myself. Thus, I was unable to meet other people and to go out is decreased. I want to go back to a real life. This is my thought. However, this virus never disappears. And then with coronavirus was made, and the idea that we coexist with the world with this virus. For example, the government started new campaign that it enables us to travel to rural areas and to eat at restaurants cheaply. These are aimed at revitalization of the community where the economy has stagnated and the growing use of restaurants where management has been difficult due to the virus. Thus, I think that trying to regain our lives with the virus epidemic is coexistence. We will live in the future. So I wonder if we should consider how we will live in this new lifestyle. How will we make it closer to our lives? And how will we develop the Japanese economy now? It is us that changes our lives with the coronavirus. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our last speaker will be Won Xian-Jin.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My big topic is what does Glocal mean to you? First of all, I want to introduce the meaning of Glocal. By definition, it is refined and characterized by global and local considerations. Glocal means a way of thinking for me. From the definition of this word, it can refer to all individual, group, institution who hope and think globally and act locally. Market's success is one of the classical cases of globalization. McDonald's is thinking about global markets power to adapt to the local people taste. The menu of its chain store is different, which is an action of localization. Globalization has become a trend, but customer consumption habits taste around the world can never be unified. While expanding global markets, enterprise also adapt to the local people taste and make corresponding changes. The way of thinking of global is very important. Global means global needs us to think globally and make change according to the particularity of the region. Global means a way of survival for me. Similarly, I think of Darwin's theory of evolution. In the theory of evolution, every creature will have genetic variation when it proceeds to the next generation. If the variable variation is beneficial to the pet life, the favorable variation will be returned in a way that the favorable creature will be returned in a way, and the creature will be survive through the screening of the environment. Similarly, I will give you two examples of the importance of Glocal. Frameworks and software have exceeded from Japanese and South Korea market in recent years. The reason is that they don't know the way of survival. Some analysts believe that Walmart is not familiar with behavior of South Korea, and the Japanese shelf-based warehouse is one of the significant features of third-party discount. But Korean customers still want to have a sense of shopping in a department store. Terrible for in Japan because it didn't adjust according to Japanese people's taste and consumption habits. Also terrible have low price and far away from the city. The Japanese customer pay attention to the freshness of the food material. It is not useful for them to buy a large amount of food and store at home and eat slowly.
the way of survival is very important. If you want to survive in a place for a long time, you should have to understand the environment and the culture and make corresponding changes. There is no need to make a complete judgment, only to adjust to the particularity of the region or culture. What does Glocal mean to you? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So, I hope you learned a lesson from today's experience. And for those who are not the graduating students, please come back and challenge again. So this is a comment from the judges. And thank you very much for your fellow judges. Thank you.
Quantum form.
2人で。はい、撮ります。ありがとうございます。はい、3、2、
では発表します。第2位、足立太郎君。
はい、じゃあこちらお願いします。はい、いきます。はい、3、2。
So the winner is
はい、熊谷周平君です。はい、
じゃあこちらで、はい、撮ります。はい、大丈夫。はい、いきます。はい、3、2、1。
yeah, for the second prize. So
はい、柴田秀樹君。
はい。はい、撮ります。はい、3、2、1。
はい、sorryね。
はい、お願いします。はい、撮ります。はい、3、2、1。
王坚信。
はい、撮ります。はい、3、2、1。
ギターはヤダブピアノ。
はい、撮ります。はい、3、2、1。はい、で、マスクは今だけ。はい。はい、では撮ります。はい、撮ります。はい、3、2、1。